second. Doing the things. Here we go. Gonna close down the Google Voice window. But Angela, I just wanted you to know, like, I have the window open. The phone number for Home Service Happy Hour will exist. And one of these days we're gonna take live callers. And I also need to get the public Facebook group set up. Jai and I need to get that going so we can turn the private one into the place where we actually do a live happy hour show.
Yes.
These things need to happen. I'm just living the fall lifestyle here. Mine's a little bit different because of bow hunting. But I haven't done half the shit that I want to get done this fall. Because
you need an integrator.
I do. Yeah. It's weird it's weird to need an integrator when I have one employee in my business. But we'll get there. All right, let me get us live on the radio. Actually, before I get us live on the radio, I want to see. I need to check. We're live on Facebook now. I kind of want to see if I can make this public within Home Service Happy Hour. I don't know if I can since it's a private group. Angela, do you know the answer to that? Can you make a post public when you're in a private group?
No, but if it's in a private, can you share it to your profile?
I don't think so. I don't think I can.
That's the whole point of this public group.
Do we need a public group?
It's in Lead Hired Show, though. That's where I'm showing it.
Yeah. So I'm going to go in there. I see us out there. I'm going to turn my volume way down because you know what happens when you're like live and then you click on the thing, all of a sudden the volume's like, what's up, person? All right. So let me say... Boom. Live. Here we go. Let's start a radio show up.
Fancy.
That's working. It's always a good it feels good when I see Angela dancing because I really give myself like a 90% chance that stuff is working, but that means there's a 10% chance that I've got something totally jacked up over here and it's not working. And so it's kind of like every time I hit the button to start the show, I'm just like, oh God, is it going to work? Are they going to be able to hear me? But Angela's dancing. The show's working. Oh, that was a little quieter than I wanted to be. What's up, Home Service homies, Home Service heroes? It's the fall. It's go time. We're busting our butts. We're making money. We got an all-star panel on today. We got our buddy James Mansky. I haven't seen James. It's got to be like 5 years now. It's like 5 years. He's been busy buying every business under the planet. So we're going to talk a little bit about that because that's a cool opportunity and something you should be thinking about for the fall, especially with the way the economy is. We got Angela Schroeder in the house, Unique Genius, VAs. What the hell is your show called, Angela? Courageous Mind?
Unleash Your Courage.
Unleash Your Courage. Courageous Mind is your book, right? I was close. I'm saying the right words in different orders. Michael Gregory, Click Call Sell in the house. What's up, Michael?
You forgot Hirely Chill, bro.
And Hirely Chill. Well, Sean's not on. Sean's too busy being depressed about Sean's too busy being depressed about his Browns all getting injured and stuff like that. And I was like, man, just like you had a good run, dude. Browns had a good run.
We got married. It's a big deal.
We're taking over the world, baby. Brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping, because that's the thing that I get to say because it's my thing. Welcome, guys. Welcome. It's good to. I took last week off because I was out chasing whitetails in Illinois, and I had some ups and downs. And then I had I'm guessing nobody watched it or listened to it. For the love of God, I hope not. Ben and I went live like on Friday, half in the bag, while we were down in Illinois, and that was a hoot. And I was gonna pull the episode down because it was so bad, and I was like, no, this is fun for me and Ben, and if anybody else wants to watch it, cool. Just have like 6 beers before you do. Man, we were laughing so hard. I don't know if there was any entertainment value, or there definitely was no knowledge value in that episode that we recorded last week, but God, it was fun. We were laughing our butts off.
I didn't know you guys were live because the last time you two were live together, I was on and it was like I was half on the show in the chat.
Yeah. You were right there. Now, if you go watch that, for those of you that have seen me enough know that I have this jacked up pinky from an old football injury, and I use it very strategically under the bottom of my beer can. It's got just like a great anchor point. Speaking of which, Probably open my beer can. Don't want Angela to be drinking a midday beer, happy hour beer alone here. But Ben, the whole episode was just, he would be like, my name is Dan Plata. And I don't view myself as having like a deep voice, but apparently I do, because every time somebody makes fun of me, they go like, and then he was sitting there with his pinky all bent the whole time. Man, I was just laughing. He couldn't join us today though, or we'd end up all listening to more of the same. But anyway, I digress. I want to talk about that fall hustle, that fall grind, the burnout, if you will. I did the stupid thing where I took a week off during that time. And it's not that I forgot, but I think you have like selective memories. And I think I've said this on the show before, but I have no basis for this. Just I've heard that like pregnancy and baby delivery hurts so bad that like if a woman really remembered what it felt like, they just wouldn't have another kid. But you have this like selective memory where humans are really good at forgetting about painful shit. And so I grew a bookkeeping business. We had 20 employees. I could take vacation. And when I came back, the stuff was done. Right. And so I had just forgotten about what it's like when you have one employee and it's month end and there's a whole lot of shit to do and you're starting out. And that's the business I have now. Is I have a startup and it's a lot of fun, but I have one employee. Thanks, Angela, crushing it. And I need to like get some shit done. And I took a week off at month end right before the end of the year because I selectively forgot how painful startup / month end is in the fall. So I had a lot of fun. I kind of workcationed it. Luckily I was able to pop a couple deer and fill some tags and got like 2 days of work in while I was there. But then I came back to just like working nonstop here and feeling that fall grind. I can't even like measure up to the landscaping, the lawn care guys that are doing the final fall cleanups and the blowouts and the window cleaning and holiday light dudes and the gutter cleaning dudes that are working like dark to dark. I can't compete with that. But I hear it all the time from our bookkeeping clients that it's just like, oh, I can't get you this thing because I'm in the truck and I'm out here doing this thing. And I just want to like talk about it because it sucks. And we all know it's coming and we all know it's a thing that we're going to have to deal with. And I feel for it. And there's no way around it, right? We got to grow our way out of it. James, I feel like you've grown your way out of it, but you haven't been on this show in like 6 months because you've been just going and going and going. Your going's a little bit different. Can you get us a little up to speed on what you got going on over there and some of the acquisitions you're putting together?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the same boat, just how you kind of said too, Dan. I mean, it's fourth quarter of the year, but it's also fourth quarter like in a football game. Like we don't let up. This is where the winners keep winning and the losers kind of let up. And not saying anybody's a loser that listens to the show or anybody we know, but that's where we get the competitive advantage over the competition.
I might be a loser. I totally let up last week. I think I'm a loser.
No, you're still fine. You'll put in the extra effort this week.
I just got benched. I got benched for a little bit and I came back. Coach let me back.
Think about it like football, right? I mean, this is where you claw your way out to win is fourth quarter of every year. So, I mean, that's how we look at it. So it's always a big push for final numbers, final production, get as much operational stuff done as possible before 2024, right? So there's never really a slow time. There shouldn't be in anybody's businesses. So, I mean, in the last 6 months, we've been putting together this deal strategically and creatively, because I'm sure a lot of people are finding out, I mean, it's tough to get money. So being able to be creative with structuring the finance, owner carryback, payroll, whatever that looks like, loan assumptions. I mean, this is a complicated deal. But since then, we just acquired and moved into a new location with multiple buildings. I mean, a bunch of new people. I was just telling Dan off the air, 40 acres with 2 ponds and forest. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's exciting. And I'm most excited just to integrate and create a synergy between the companies so that it could affect the bottom number. So
hell yeah,
next year is going to be really exciting.
I'm just gonna, if you see me like out there at all, I'm probably just putting some trail cameras out there, just checking out the wildlife, want to see what you got going on. So next fall, just come down and help exterminate anything. If you got critters, if you got critter problems, I'll just be there.
Yeah.
I'll just take care of it.
There's plenty. There's plenty for you. They're too accustomed here with no predators, so you'd be.
That's
welcome.
right. Yeah, there's just no natural predator. We gotta wipe them out and put them in the freezer. Michael, I think this is a slower time for you from a marketing standpoint. I know for Hire Lead Chill, it is for us from a recruiting standpoint too. How do you notice that, like the hecticness of the clients, but also as somebody that serves a bunch of these clients, that things are like winding down in a weird way, or how does it impact you?
No, Christmas light clients are going bonkers right now.
That's true.
So yeah, Christmas light's crazy. Yeah, other industries slowing down, but stress of all the people doing high 6, low 7 figures of Christmas lights makes up for all of that.
Rob, what the hell are you doing over there? Rob Anderson in the house, making some noise.
As always.
Screwing up the quad, making a bunch of noise.
Yep.
Captain,
and of course, I get a call from Texas right now. I don't know what Texas wants, but it's a long
the
way
state
away.
of Texas, or just someone in Texas?
I think the whole state. That sounds way cooler.
They have their own phone. Yeah.
I mean, they're representing it right now.
This is the state of Texas. Yeah, good point, Michael. When does what is your I'll say slow season, for lack of a better term, on the marketing side? Do you have like that downtime of the year where like, all right, projects, here's what we got to do before February when everybody wants a new website for this or Google ads up and running for that?
Yeah, as far as website goes, now is our slowest time of the year. We were after the huge, we were booked out for 8-10 weeks, and we're going to coast 2 to 3 weeks out for the next 2 months. But then January is all over again, bunch of conventions and getting back on. Everyone has to get a beautiful new website for spring, so I'm excited for that. But this is the time to plan. Right now.
Hell yeah. Angela, same question for you in like the VA world. Does this become like a slower time because people feel like they already have the people that they need, and so they're not trying to add resources, they're just trying to stay lean and make money? Or is there or is it opposite to that, where they're starting to plan and think ahead and say, I need some administrative help? How does it impact you in this space?
Yeah, well, same as Michael. I mean, we have a huge chunk of Christmas light clients, and so supporting them. I mean, part of what we do with the virtual assistants is provide them a community that they're exchanging ideas and helping their business owners grow. And then, like newer in the last few seasons, we added placing integrators in businesses. So just really ramping all of the newly onboarded people on and like supporting those Christmas light businesses, so that like in this crunch, we certainly feel it because a big chunk of our people do, and we're trying to help them perform the best.
Yeah. Asking for a friend, what's too soon to hire an integrator?
Not too soon. That's what I'm saying. You need one
already. I need one
already. And we
now is it now? I think there's probably some uniqueness to me there because I'm an oddball, but I'm also a really shitty integrator. I feel like there's probably people that are like a little more balanced with being their own integrator that could maybe last a little longer than me. But I do not like building systems and processes, and I know that it needs to happen sooner rather than later. So that's just the world I live in.
Your team member does, and so I mean, as we add people on, we talked about that. Like I specifically gave you a gift of a project manager, of somebody that can take, and we talked about this a lot last week when Michael and I were together, but like someone can take your visionary mind and put it into the processes. And you have a team member that can do that, right now needed to be in the dirt, doing the tasks, doing the bookkeeping, but has the capacity to be your, scores high in integration and can be the person that creates the processes and implements them.
Booyah.
Okay. We just need to get him into integrator support. So.
Heck yeah. Captain Christmas over there.
Yes.
Do you have like a Captain America suit, but it says Captain Christmas instead, or how do you?
I've got lots of Christmas suits.
Yeah, does one
not more than JC? But
I should be wearing a jacket or something, or a hat. Yeah. We got Christmas all over here.
I bet you do. Yeah, tripping over Christmas. Rob, I'm kind of surprised you were when I texted earlier and you're like, I'm in. I was like, Rob's in? What the hell? How is Rob in? It's middle of November. How the hell are you even here right now?
Because we had a lot of stuff to prep for city project we got tomorrow. And I've been kind of on like finally clean up a bunch of stuff that's all around the shop. And so, of course, it's just me running around and actually just like, all right, cool, this room, we're done. Like all these things that have been sitting in a pile, like somebody take, like we've got little tailgate carts and whatnot, just throw all of it in there, get it out to the shop, put it where it needs to go. So
you are an elf. You've been an elf today.
Yep.
Beauty. Are you feeling the burnout, Rob? Are you starting to feel it? Or are you like riding the holiday season high right now?
The level of like internal panic that's going on that I haven't really vocalized to my team when I look back and see, like we've spent almost nothing on lights materials this year.
That's nice.
It's good and it's bad. I don't think we really necessarily had the logistics, like all the equipment and stuff to have added on 150 grand this year. We still have a lot of reinstalls that haven't been done. We have a lot of quotes that are not closed. And it's kind of been weird. Like, I think the demand's there. It's just getting the leveled up staff to be able to go out and produce. You know, you got one guy who's able to, with his crew, do 22 to 24, and the other crew's like 12 grand. And so it obviously makes a huge difference than having a couple of, 20K a week crews really makes a big difference. So, yeah.
Is there something you can do about that now? Or is it just like, well, shit, it's middle of November. We're just going to ride it out and push as hard as we can.
Yeah. It's been trying to get people up to speed on things. And obviously without our service manager, and we demoted the guy we had as a service manager from that to just a tech, because he was producing like 10 grand or below. And it's like, dude, you need to be effective and be able to go out and handle callbacks. So I'm not doing it. And so, yeah.
It gets tricky this time of year. I feel like that role is
yes.
It's not like you're a glutton for punishment, but you're just getting pulled in a lot of directions. That's a tough gig. I saw Ellie Mason chimed in. Ellie, if you got she said, serious question, need an answer if you have time. Of course. Love a question on the show. If you want to drop it on the show, Ellie, drop it on the show. We'll probably take a commercial break in a sec here to do that, since we got to do that. And then when we get back, we can answer your questions. So if you feel fine dropping it in here, drop it in here. Otherwise, personally, if you just want to hit me up, you know how to find me. One thing I want to explore, and I think we can do this when we get back from a little commercial break here, but I don't feel like I have great mechanisms to handle the anxiety and the stress that comes with the busy season. And so I think just like talking through some strategies and some thought processes and like almost like mental and physical well-being stuff for this time of year, because daylight's dwindling. Depression sets in. We're fighting our ass off and things are going wrong at a faster pace. So I just want to address that. I want to talk through it, see what you guys do, see how you guys handle that like kind of winter doldrum and the impending darkness amidst trying to keep your business afloat and make as much money as you possibly can down the stretch here. So let's first, I got to be a good show host. And I need to turn the music on so Angela can dance and we can know that it's time for a commercial break. And I'll play one of these ad blocks that Hecubus so kindly set up for me. We'll be right back with a little more bookkeeping beer. Nope, it's not bookkeeping beer and BS. It's home service happy hour. Yeah, I love that. Hashtag best show host on the planet. Just kidding. Terrible. All right, we'll be back with more home service happy hour on Turfs Up Radio.
True Fuel is a high-octane fuel precision-engineered for your 2- and 4-cycle equipment. They use the most advanced synthetic lubricants and stabilizers in an ethanol-free fuel, improving performance, protecting your equipment, and saving you time. That means easier startups, smoother idling, and quicker trigger response, plus extended life for all of your equipment. True Fuel is ready to use and easy to store, helping your operations be more efficient and reducing maintenance costs. We at Turfs Up use True Fuel because we know it works and we know it's the best option. Check out TrueFuel50.com to learn more. That's TrueFuel50.com.
You're listening to Turfs Up Radio, the only radio station of its kind dedicated to the green industry. Now you can even ask Alexa to tune you in when you're home.
Are outdated spreadsheets and whiteboard scheduling costing you jobs? Or is a lack of consistency between crews causing your bids to differ from job to job? Or worse, delaying critical invoices and payments? Crew Control offers all-in-one business management solutions fit for every trade. From bidding and scheduling to invoicing and integrating payments, Crew Control provides real-time visibility into your crew's efficiency, whether you're in the field, in the office, or even on vacation. Manage your crews more effectively and improve business performance with Crew Control. Start your free trial today at crewcontrol.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, here's to all the women in the green industry. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
All right, home service homies. We're back with a little more home service happy hour on Turfs Up Radio. It's really hard for me to not say bookkeeping, beer, and BS, because I said bookkeeping, beer, and BS for like 27 years, it feels like. I sent an email the other day, and it literally was like, hey, just send me an email back at dplata@blueskyservices.com. And I didn't even catch it until like I read my email later, and I was like, oh, it's not my email anymore. It's dplata@bestdamnbookkeeping.com. But these things you just get so used to typing or saying or whatever the hell. It just cracks me up. So this ain't bookkeeping, beer, and BS, but shout out to the old bookkeeping, beer, and BS podcast. Go check it out if you haven't. But you're listening to Home Service Happy Hour. That's this podcast. It's a different one, but it's kind of the same one, but it's different. It's newer, but it's kind of the same. You know what I mean? I muted everybody, by the way. So if I muted you, let me see. Can I unmute you? Oh, I can unmute you. Look at me go. Unmute. Cool. I miss James. Here we go. We got some people checking in. Drew Larson checking in says, there's some of my favorite people. Trevor Steele. How do you get such, like, did Trevor just make up the last name for himself? There's no way that's his actual last name. That's bullshit. You made that shit up, Trevor, but that's a sweet mahi he's got there. So maybe his last name is Steele, and maybe he's just that cool.
He is that cool.
He's that cool, but I still like, like Plata. Not a cool last name. Steele, that's cool. That's sweet.
That is.
It's a real Steele. Yeah. So somebody says he wins the game of last names. Drew says he wins the game of last names. And it is a good game. It's a great game. We got a question here. Ellie, if you're still watching, drop your question in if you want us to address it on the show. Our boy Doug Brown chimes in and says, hey, guys, I got a question for you. When do you hire your first salesperson? I hate selling. We are landscape and snow management. Before we get to talking about burnout, we gotta hit Doug's question here. I've got some thoughts. What do you guys think?
James, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go first. Are you currently selling, right? If you're the only one selling, what kind of teaching lessons have you put in place to bring on somebody that can take your role, right? So how easy are you making it so somebody can duplicate you first? But no matter what, it's based on what your percentage of selling in your week. So if you're selling all the time and you can't focus on operations, management, leadership, finance, you got to get somebody in there right away to help you with that burden. So for me, we're always looking for somebody that can help sell. But everybody in the company is a salesperson, if that makes sense. Everybody that answers phones knows sales. Our estimators are good at selling, our operational people. So everybody should be helping with the sales and upselling of their current customers. But usually, typically, what I recommend would be once you get that, once it starts taking up so much of your time every day, every week, you got to get somebody in there right away. So you can focus on higher level stuff and managing the salespeople.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, and I would add too that it's also going to come down to your lead flow. Not necessarily how much time are you spending selling, but also like if it's taking you, just like with production, if it's taking an extended amount of time to go ahead and do those estimates, then you need to bring on more salespeople. Right now we have 3 official salesmen and we have a 4th person who's like our marketing person. And it's also helpful because, one person's out sick, somebody else has got childcare issues, and like it's constantly something there. But if you don't like selling, but you like doing the work, I'd say it's easier to teach somebody to sell your service than to be an expert at producing your service. Or at least you can take somebody who knows how to sell and then say, hey, here is this new product, sell that instead of, again, we're dealing with that because we don't have the production manager. We finally have a sales manager and he can handle that a lot better for us and focus on that and make sure that the other 2 sales guys are being successful and allowing me to pay more attention to the production side.
I think a little bit of that depends on how technical the sale is, right? If it's a commoditized service or like a repeat service, maybe it's a little bit easier to sell. But if you're doing really intense landscape designs, that would be harder to sell, where you'd need some more expertise. So I think part of it comes down to how technical the sale is. I would almost lean towards, and I'm probably going to set Angela up for either agreeing or disagreeing with me, or maybe just not having an opinion somewhere along that spectrum. I don't know, but I'm going to lead Angela.
You just covered all the spectrums.
Yeah, I did. Like the stock market can either go up or down or stay the same. It can only do 3 things. So either Angela's going to agree or disagree or not really care about anything that I say pretty much all the time. Probably most of the latter. But I would say if it's like a technical type of sale where it's like, oh man, it's really hard to train somebody to know how to sell that thing. Peace out, James Mansky. He had to go. He had another call. Thanks for jumping on, James. The more technical it is, the more it's probably dependent on you. I know I run into that with bookkeeping a lot, where like somebody to be able to sell bookkeeping would have to be both really good at accounting and understand how the client's business works. And so it's a pretty technical sale, and you have to have a lot of understanding of the finance angle of what it is that we're trying to do. When we sell window cleaning, it's like, how many window panes do you have? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
How many feet of gutters do you have? Cool. Done. We got you. It's transactional. The more technical the sale is, the more it's probably dependent on your expertise. But there's probably some stuff you can do in front of the sale or behind the sale, either in like setting up the estimate that could be probably outsourced to some help that maybe Angela could or could not help with, or on the back end of the sale to do the follow-ups, right? And just like, and you can automate some of that, and maybe you've got a person doing some of the follow-ups so that it's not just, you after the estimate having to follow up, because that's the stuff I hate. I'm just like, okay, I like talking to the business owner and doing the demo. The stuff before that and organizing who I have estimates with and making all the notes, and then stuff after that to do the process thing after I do the estimate and then send them this and then make sure they have those notes and blah, blah, blah. That's the boring stuff to me. So that's the stuff like I might need to be the wedge in the middle, but can probably get help on the ends of the sale. Angela, you're nodding your head. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. If we were wondering which of the 3 it is.
Yeah.
Virtual assistants are great they can be in all 3, but if it's a sale that you need to be involved in, which is either super technical or super emotional. So you need to make that in-person connection or relationship connection with a client. I think those are equally valuable, right? It might be super technical or very emotional, that you can have somebody set up the sale, do all the technical aspects of an estimate to set you up in that relational position, and then make sure that the sales funnel doesn't have any leaks in it and they are following up diligently with estimates. There are also great people that, like, we know whether they're on the ground or they're a virtual person, selling is a skill set that you are really good at sales, and a really good salesperson can learn both the technical and emotional side of it to get a person, to say yes. And then some of those other things can be closed in the background.
Yep.
And what I would say about sales, to answer the other like if I would have initially answered the question, I think a lot of it depends on capacity. So if you're out there in the field and you're wondering and you have capacity that's not filled, get somebody to fill it.
Yeah.
Like that's to me, that's like one of the biggest indicators. If you have capacity that is not filled, you have created a capacity that is not filled. And sometimes, yes, a virtual assistant is a less expensive cost of a salesperson. But if you have capacity that isn't filled, you got to do something to do that.
Go hire,
Go hire
go
somebody.
get it. Yeah.
Because it directly pays for itself, right? It's one of the biggest, easiest things to close an ROI on.
Now there's Rob mentioned it, and I want to toss it over to Michael here. There's a lead flow component too with hiring a salesperson, right? Like how much are you going to have them try to get their own leads versus how many leads are you going to provide them, and what kind of leads are those going to be? Michael, go. That's all I'm going to do to set you up. I'm sure you've got some thoughts.
I've coached this issue a couple of times. So sales is the lifeblood of a business. I mean, it's the top line on your P&L, the income. Like you can't grow a business without selling things. That being said, super nerdy, but like begin with the end in mind. What do you want out of your business and how quickly do you want to get there? You know, if you are trying to start a franchise with 20 locations in 3 years, you're going to need to get on sales immediately, right? Are you trying to build a lifestyle business where you want to get to $500,000 in 5 years and you love sales? In that case, you don't necessarily need, just get everything else and you just keep doing sales. In this example, I hate sales. I have coached several people, and I'll give one example without telling a name. This person was terrified of sales. And because they were terrified of sales, they never built a really good sales system. Like, just because I'm not going to knock on doors, I'm going to hire somebody to do it. And then they hire somebody to just go knock on doors. But there's like, you can't just hire somebody and say this, right? So part of their accountability.
You can. It just won't work.
It's not going to work. You're right. So part of the accountability was we had him get a little lavalier mic and go into and just cold walk into commercial buildings and just say, hey, my name is so-and-so and I'm with this company and I would just like to tell you about my business. And we would have him to just actually like go in and cold contact business owners. And after 20, it was much, much easier for him. In fact, the first time he did it, in the beginning, he'd walk in like, I literally think I'm going to pee my pants right now. This is terrifying. And like, he's just shaking and trembling. The only reason we wanted to do that is to get him over the hump of saying, like, I know what to say. I've practiced and rehearsed the scripts. I see how they're received. And when I go in on day 1, day 2 to talk to somebody, I can just do it. And if you don't have, unless you're just going to find a unicorn and you can afford to do that, most home service businesses can't afford their first salesperson to pay somebody 6 figures who already has this experience. And if you do that. But if you don't have the money to hire a seasoned salesperson that can come in and do it, then you're going to need to have a minimum viable system, something that they can do. And that needs to complement whatever your goal is. Do you need 1 of those people, 3 of those people, 5 of those people? At some point in time, when your business gets to the point where you can afford talent, invest in talent. Invest in a badass salesperson that can just go out there and make your sales system for you. Invest in a badass operations manager, office system, somebody that's going to take that and own it. But for most people in the home service space, employee 1 of that department, you can't afford to do that. So you have to just get a minimum viable system, something you can teach, and then empower them to make it better.
All I heard was torture them.
Okay.
Torture them.
Yeah.
That
or
was
just
send them into the most uncomfortable situation where they're going to pee their pants.
I enjoy sales.
Torture
So it was one of the last things that I will do and will give up and have given up in my business because I what the marketing company, like people buy because of me. So I like to be in that position, but it is a landscape lighting, exterior cleaning, painting company, landscaping company, whatever. It's not about you in most cases. It's about what kind of experience you can deliver from the CSR, office manager, admin, whoever answers the phone, all the way through the estimate process until they get to a yes. So the right person that can create the experience that you have in your vision and for your brand, that's where you start.
Well, I think you and Dan are very similar in that regard. I mean, Dan, you took too long to bring on a salesperson at Blue Skies. I mean, you knew that was a struggle, but also you were the face of the sales process. Like you had to get them onboarded, and then at that point, people were fine with going to somebody else, and that's the struggle. You know, when I stopped being in the field, and people would be like, "Well, I see you on all the Facebook videos, so why aren't you the guy that's washing the house?" It's like, well, because I've got other things to do now.
I'm the guy in the videos. Not
And
the guy-
Michael, you did touch on the financial side of it. I mean, you've got to make sure that there's enough, if you're $100,000 business a year, it's going to be hard to pay somebody to do sales. If you're at $500,000 or $1 million, then sure, at that point, yeah, you've got enough that somebody, if you're paying them 10% and they got to add, or whatever they're getting paid, you've got to make sure that that there's the opportunity with the lead flow, but also, they're probably going to want to make $30,000, $50,000, $70,000, or 100,000 plus, depending on where you're living. So,
yeah, I think Drew Larson chimed in. He had a lot of good points here. Said it's important to have all your systems and processes for sales in place. And then he threw some questions out here, which is, can you afford them? And a salesperson is a little bit interesting because can you afford them, but can you make sure they can pay for themselves, right? There's kind of like two things going on there, which is if you hire an administrative person, they have to have an ROI. They have to make you much more money than they cost you. And so the can you afford them is really like, can you afford to train them? Do you have enough runway to get them up to speed so that they can start making you money? And it's an investment, right? Some investments lose money. You might invest in the wrong person. And can you afford that, right? Can you afford making an investment that loses you money, right? A good salesperson you shouldn't have to afford. It should really be like you can't afford not to have them because they bring in so much revenue. But in the short run, can you afford to train them and take the risk that they're not the right person? And then he hits another good one, which is, will that give you more time to do other things? And I think Drew is just being really nice and saying, you better fucking have other things to do, because if you are not doing sales, you need to go have a job in your business that pays you a lot of money doing something else. One of the worst things you can do is fire yourself from a job. And now you're paying somebody else, which means they're getting the paycheck and not you. And you don't have a place to add enough value in your business to pay you. And then you go, oh shit, I'm losing a bunch of money in my business. Now, in your case, if you don't want to do the sales, but you want to be, operations manager or something on the field, like you can still have a job and focus on that pays you a good wage, and you're still the owner, and hopefully there's profit and you're getting paid that way too. But it's just making sure that you don't like hire somebody else to do a thing because you don't love it or you're not great at it or whatever. But it happened to be the thing that the business really needed you to do. And now there's nothing left for you to do that earns you a paycheck. So I think that's a great point that Drew made there. And then just, are you sure you're ready to train that person to do it well? I think that's a great question. And I think it's a great question because I usually do those first two things pretty well. And then I suck at the third thing. Even when I brought on Angela's bookkeeper that she set me up with, I was like, hey, Jason, here's the thing. We're just going to build this thing as we go, man. I don't have any training systems or processes. I'm banking on you to help me figure it out, and we'll document it as we go. He was okay with that. And thank God Angela's awesome and found me a person that could do that. But I think that's a great question is the sales process is going to be very natural to you. Can you build that system to help them succeed? If you can't, then the answer to can you afford them might not be a great answer, because you're going to hire somebody, they're going to fail, they're going to cost you a lot of money, you're going to get frustrated, you're maybe going to try it again, it's going to fail again because you don't have the right training system to get that person up to speed. Angela, you look like you're writing notes over there. You writing notes?
I am.
What'd you write?
All the stuff you were talking about and Drew's talking about, like the wisdom of those things in sales.
Brian Crowder chiming in. Thanks for chiming in here. Brian says, I've found salespeople need clear guardrails. By their very nature, they go off-roading. That is such a good point. I feel like when you're like scrolling Facebook and there's like inspirational quotes, Brian, I'm quoting you. I'm gonna drop that out there. I just had
this visionary mind that I was like, oh, if you have the capacity, just bring them on. And no, those are some great nuggets, Drew and Dan.
I'd hire this Yahoo right here to be my salesperson. Darren, I bet Darren could sell the old ketchup popsicle to a woman in a white dress. Put money on it.
I just got on to say go Birds.
Go Birds. Yeah, you got the Eagles thing behind the. Is that a real decal, or is that just like a holographic because you got so much cool technology going on?
No. It's real. It's cool. The owner of the MAHTS, MAHTS. Does everybody know what that is? MAHTS. It's a Mid-Atlantic Hardscape trade show. Happens every year in December. We're going to be there. The owner of the show heard me talk about it last year, and she sent this to me. I got this big tubular package. It was like, I don't know, 5 feet tall. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I opened it up, and it's an Eagles logo. I'm like, this is great. I was asking everybody and their mother who sent it to me because it didn't come with a return address on it. And finally I figured it out. It was her.
There you go. That's pretty sweet.
So,
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Hey, we got to take a commercial break in a second here, but can I put you on the spot for a second, Darren?
Do it.
It's not a bad spot, but it's something you can maybe even think about during a commercial break. So maybe it's not even a spot at all. It's a half spot. Huge convention coming up in next August. Generally, historically, was pressure washing, window cleaning, that sort of exterior cleaning. Getting more and more into the green space. Talking about bringing there's a podcast row there. I'm working with a guy named Brad Williams, my homie Brad Williams, who's going to be on my podcast on the late night version in a few weeks here. He's got a hookup to like a sports center setup, like a broadcast setup. And so we got a bookend, like a 20 by 30 space at the huge convention to set that up. And I was like, this might be an interesting place for Turfs Up Radio to come and hang out and like help get the broadcast on the airwaves and be supporting and bringing some technology and streaming this stuff out in a cool way. I know Turfs Up is getting into, we got some other industries that we represent besides just the green industry here. So anyway, just throwing that out there. It would be a cool opportunity. I already took the liberty of being like, hey, let me talk to the Turfs Up guys. So I was going to call you or text you, but now here you are. So I'm not going to. I'm just doing it live.
Where is it? Where's it located?
It's going to be in Nashville at the Gaylord. I think it's at the Gaylord again.
And Podcast Row this year was predominantly green industry. I mean, there were 4 green industry podcast hosts on Podcast Row.
Insane.
I like the way you did that. You did that like the row. You nailed the row, Angela. Way to go with the nonverbals.
But
no,
so
Rob, you didn't have it.
The rest of Podcast Row was, I got on all their shows. Did you go down? I just was like,
I didn't. I should have. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was with Rob drinking beer.
You're drinking beers with me.
Yep. That's what I was doing.
That's really,
but anyway,
that's really cool. I was going to say real quick, that's awesome. It's August, and I'm sure we'll all love to convene in Nashville. That's like what a great place to be, right? In August.
Why wouldn't
we? Right. I'd love to do that.
The only downside is this is maybe just a personal downside. Tennessee in August is like 1,000 billion degrees with 1,000,000,000% humidity. I mean, you're probably used to that in Florida, Darren, but like,
I don't care about that. Yeah.
I want, I need like, if it's above 70, I'm uncomfortable. I'm a polar bear. That's the only downside. All right, let's do this thing. we gotta hit the button here to play some music because it's a radio show and that's how we do things. And then Angela dances, so I know that the sound's working. I'm gonna play some commercials. We're gonna be right back with not bookkeeping beer and BS, as I almost said earlier. This is the Home Service Happy Hour show on Turfs Up Radio. Come on back and keep checking us out. We're gonna get into a little more burnout talk. Maybe we'll get into burnout talk. It doesn't sound as fun anymore. We'll see. We'll be back after a couple minutes from our fine sponsors. See you in a minute.
Creating art from darkness. For over 20 years, Cast Lighting has designed and manufactured the world's most durable, energy efficient, and technically advanced landscape lighting products available at astonishingly affordable prices. Cast offers
Crest.com. Visit Crest.com. Having issues with your maintenance schedule? Want better routing and ability to track your vehicles when they leave the shop? Do you want to reduce your liability exposure with your vehicles that are moving billboards on the road? GPS Fleet Consulting uses cloud-based dashcam monitoring and can easily track your vehicle maintenance using real odometer readings. GPS Fleet Consulting can also assist you with live phone support and email support with guaranteed same-day responses. Yes, same-day responses. Stop wondering where your trucks are and start managing your fleet with GPS Fleet Management Systems. For more information, visit gpsfleetconsulting.com. That's gpsfleetconsulting.com.
It's official. We're back. We had Trevor Steele in here for like 2 seconds. Coolest last name. He's got such a cool last name. Way cooler than Gruner. Cooler than Gruner. Cooler than Schroeder. Gregory, Anderson, Plata. We got nothing compared to that Trevor Steele guy. Angela put in the private chat that the commercials stopped playing audio, which I think is because I muted myself. And I didn't realize when I mute myself, then nobody can hear the commercials because they're through my feed. So my bad if everybody was sitting here just not doing anything. Like, what the hell are these people doing on this live thing, just not making any noises? What the hell's Trevor doing over there? Are we just hearing like bathroom?
Going bowling.
I was gonna say, are we just hearing like bathroom audio? Did you just flush the toilet or something? All right, everybody, we're back with the home stretch on Home Service Happy Hour here. Thanks for hanging out on this fine Wednesday afternoon. I hope you're like Angela and me, and it's a good afternoon, and you got to have a beer, because I know I did. Darren, you're on mute. You're saying something awesome. I'm gonna unmute you so that you can go ahead and say the cool thing.
I just want to, since I want to listen to all you guys speak, and I just want to say that thank you again for everything you do. For you, Angela, we talk every once in a while, and you and I we're going to be doing something together, business wise, of course. Rob, Captain Christmas. Just so you know, I would love to have, if anybody wants to talk about Christmas on Turfs Up Radio, would love to have a show on Christmas lighting. Would be really cool, even if it's once a month. Just so you know, I'm not saying this because of what's going out in the world. I just happen to be, I was born in the Jewish religion, so I never really, I have a Christmas tree, so I'm not really, I don't celebrate Jewish, but I actually, for the first time in my entire life, bought Christmas lights. And I'm going to put them up in my house. They just came in the mail. They just came in.
Don't get hurt.
I don't know.
Don't get hurt. Be safe.
It's going to be amazing. I want to learn how to do it because I want to learn. I want to teach more people. And I invite whoever wants to. We need a show about Christmas lights. We need to have that. So
it's a reality series. It'll be a reality series of how's Darren going with his Christmas lights.
Oh God.
It's going to be crazy. And I will say, Darren, we've done a lot of blue and white this year.
Have you?
we have a very, very small Jewish population down here. And actually, I'd say over half of the blue and white has nothing to do with the religion. It was just the color of the business's logos and said, this looks really sweet.
There you go.
So
yeah.
I ordered all white because I just thought it'd be cool. I'm curious to find out what it's going to look like. I have this, some neighborhoods have their own lanterns, right? In the neighborhood, they put them up and they pay for the electricity. Mine happens to be right next to my driveway. And it's got this ugly yellow light that just shines my house yellow. And it's pissing me off because I'm a lighting guy. And I'm feeling, how am I going to make this thing look good with a yellow light shining on the house? So I'm curious to see if this.
Can you crawl up there and change that bulb out?
I was thinking about shooting it out. I have my electrician. I was thinking about pulling it out. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's terrible.
Find the circuit breaker.
That's what I'm thinking of doing. But then again, my neighbors,
if you hire a landscape irrigation guy, I'm pretty sure you could find a way to cut the wire. I'm sure that's happened a time or two before.
Why don't you get some like kind of semi-transparent, like red tape or something, so that even though it's a yellow light underneath it, you just tape the glass and then it'll be red, or it'll be whatever color you want it to be.
It'll be the murder house.
We've thought of it all. It's the lantern is, I think it's 35 feet tall. I mean, it's up there. It's not like
get your ass up there. Get your ass up there.
Yeah,
Dude,
I'll show you.
Call a window cleaning company near you. They'll have a 040 or water fed pole, and then all you need is one of those little attachments, and you'd be able to take that bulb right out, or just
Yeah, it's
break it.
true.
Either way.
I have a nice BB gun. Looks like a little MR16, whatever. But one more thing about your power washing. I want to talk about power washing. I did this amazing cultured stone facade on my veneer facade on my house near my patio. It was beautiful when I did it. It's now all black. It's all mold. What do I need to do to clean that off?
Bleach.
What can I bleach?
Yeah. No, it's usually bleach and then some a little bit of surfactant will break through that and it'll make it look a whole lot better.
What's that sticky shit that you were complaining about, Rob, the last time? I think it was
the artillery spores.
Artillery spores. Make sure it's not artillery spores, Darren.
That'd be a lot for it to be all black.
Okay. I went to Home Depot because I was looking to clean some pavers, and I made a mistake and asked one of the Home Depot guys. I said, "Could you help me?" He says, "Yeah. What do you got?" I said, "I got some marble. I need to clean off the it's pavers, marble pavers, not inside marble, outside." "Oh, you got to go over to the to where you get the cleaning supplies for your bathroom." Like I said, no, that's not it. I need like liquid or chlorine or something like that. No. He takes me over and he gets me Tilex. He says, "Buy that. I guarantee it works." I'm like, I'm an idiot. I went and I bought it. It didn't work.
Of course not.
I need a list. I need a show about this. There's so much crossover.
Gotta clean that shit. But Darren, I'm gonna follow up with you. Huge convention. We should. I'm in discussions about how the booth and the show is all gonna work, and they're gonna have cameras and shit. And I think it'd be a cool place for Turfs Up to be hanging out.
I'll send you.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Besides huge convention, we were just talking about sales. We want to have a podcast show at Sales Boost.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So
we should definitely be there. And we were just at Equip. I was just met Darren at Equip, and they have like a morning show that it's not Podcast Row, but it's podcast hosts from the green industry that do morning show. And I think we got to get ourselves on that too.
Damn
at
right.
Equip. Be showcased with all the other celebrities.
Look at this baby here. I just sent you. Oh, you were there.
Not that we're
celebrities. When the time machine was there.
You sending me some stuff, Darren?
Yeah, when the time machine was at the Equip Expo, you were there, weren't you?
That was the one year I was there.
Yeah, remember what that looked like?
I sure as hell do.
That was insane.
That was pretty sweet. That was a sweet booth.
If only we could see the time.
You would literally just need to get in the time machine and then go back
in the time machine. And
yeah, shit, that'd be weird. Like you get in the time machine to go back to the time machine. That's trippy. Good luck. Godspeed. I don't know how this works. I don't understand time travel. I'm just a bookkeeper.
I don't know how to hang up. So I'm gonna hang up, but I want to listen to you guys. I love listening to you guys.
Thanks for jumping in, Darren. Peace out.
Just hang me up for me, will you? Hang up
like,
on me.
Get him out of the room, man.
It's like I'm on the phone. It's like I'm on the phone with my parents. Just like,
All
right.
How do you
hang up? I'm gonna kick you out. You're getting booted. Bam.
Bye. See you. Thanks.
Why isn't that? Yeah. Oh, he got it. He beat me to it. Darren Gruner, everybody. Darren Gruner. Burnout. We got 3 minutes to talk about burnout. How's everybody doing? Is everybody doing okay? Anybody burning out?
Well, so I'll say this for burnout. That's why I went to the last AMP event because many years ago, my $10,000 lesson learned was to force myself to take a day off during Christmas because it always I either ended up with like crazy pneumonia. I had COVID one year.
Oh yeah, you did get your ass kicked like year after year for a while.
It's just to be expected. And even if that, like for light installers, if it's just a day that you're in the shop, or what I did last year, which was basically I held myself back a good bit through October so that when my team started to like fall apart in November, I was able to jump into those spots and I, basically rested it on the bench and then ready to go those last couple of weeks. We only do 5 days a week for us, but I mean, we've got kids, we're busy with everything else. We were at soccer tournaments last weekend. We have the vitamin C, like not Zip Fizz. It's like It's like Pop Rocks, and dude, I'm hitting those like multiple times a day. So it's like I'm mega dosing vitamin C. It's good stuff.
Just pissing straight vitamin C.
Yeah, pretty much
filling it up. In my world's a little bit different, but I did find like I was out all last week, which, like I said, was just stupid for me to do. But it's an annual trip. And,
Ben's fault. It's all Ben's fault. I mean,
like this is just me in a nutshell. Like hunting is probably always going to just be a priority for me. So it's just going to happen. I'm not avoiding it, but it did make it so like I came back, I had a lot of shit to do, but not like dreadfully, right? Not oh crap, just like refreshed, rejuvenated, ready to kick some ass. A week was probably longer than I should have been out, but I wouldn't change it. And I'm fortunate enough that also like Jason on my team's kicking butt, so he kept things afloat really well while I was out. And because of the nature of my business, I can still sign on, get stuff done, keep track of stuff, answer emails from a tree stand. I did see one guy that I see doing it really well, Cole Sycophus, buddy of mine. He's a total outdoors. His hunting makes me feel like I'm a little bullshit hunter. This dude's a man. And he's out hanging holiday lights 7 days a week, I think. But he's getting out hunting in the morning before they go and hang holiday lights. So he's still like getting out in the stand every day, which it's that time of year. If you're a hunter, like mid to late October to mid-November, especially, like if you're not out in the woods, you suck. You're just not a good hunter. And so he's like doing that and crushing holiday light season. And so props to him. I feel like he's got it down for us outdoorsy dudes. He's got a good system down. Although he was supposed to on Saturday and he didn't. He must have been too busy hunting or hanging holiday lights. But we out of time, boys and girls. We are out of time. I got to go pick up kiddos. We got to do sports.
Yep.
Sports nights.
Back-to-back soccer practices.
Michael, you're on mute, but you're probably...
Yeah, really quick. If fixed or variable expense, general expense, admin, payroll. Fixed?
It's neither. It's neither.
Neither?
It's admin.
Okay.
It's admin overhead.
Admin is just not going to go in a category?
I mean,
payroll?
Payroll, administrative payroll is an administrative overhead. You've got under cost of goods sold, you've got administrative overhead for your support people, your bookkeepers, your office people, your office supplies, that group, your people infrastructure, if you will. You've got marketing, that's its own group. Then you have fixed, and then you have variable for other infrastructure things. If you had to call administrative people variable or fixed, I would say they're kind of fixed because they are infrastructure like. But salespeople are more variable, right? Like they should be variable. Salespeople should be variable, but I kind of put them in admin because they're responsible for conversion. Yeah. We'd have to go back to the episode on storytelling.
I was going to be witty and say that and say, Michael, did you miss that week of storytelling on the?
You mean the 8 weeks? I think it was like 8 weeks, probably 8 weeks.
It was 8 weeks.
It was a long stretch. I do want to. We're gonna do a series on parenting as a business owner. I'm gonna get Rob and Tori in the house for sure. Mostly Tori. Screw Rob. I want to hear what Tori has to say.
Who's on the show tonight?
We need to bring Hildy in for the story.
Yeah, we do need to get Hildy in. First, we'll get her a bunch of cocktails, and then we'll get her in here. Get her truce just like as bold as she could be. Benjamin Gregory's in the house tonight. I got my boy Ben Gregory in the house to hang out and drink some beers and talk some shop. So, Rob, are you gonna join us for a couple beers? You around?
We'll see. I was gonna say we got a good parenting story because my daughter called me about metal falling off of the bottom of her car, and it was entertaining to video chat her from 5 hours away.
We don't have time to hear it now, but if you jump on later with a few beers, I think that would be a fine story to tell. Until then, you guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn some pride. See you tonight on the Late Night Happy Hour Show. Peace.